Good morning, YouTubers. This is Vi. Just spent a little bit of time this morning putting in peppers, tomatoes, and cucumbers, and a couple of eggplant. So let's take a little tour and see how things are growing. We'll go through my new gate. The garden's doing pretty good. Here's the peas. Finally heading for the trellis. I had to train them a little bit with some sticks, but they're going pretty good now. And over here, I gotta watch out for my old picket fence. I need to get rid of that. Anyway, I've got some borage in the middle of these two beds. I'm just gonna let these grow because they do attract a lot of bees. I got a couple rows of onions and some radishes. In that little black tub back there, I put some cucumbers and one eggplant in front of them. And over here by my little gnomes, I planted one tomato plant, and I think that's supposed to be a cherry, if you can see him. And then over here, next to an actual cherry bush, if it ever gets any blooms, I don't know. It doesn't have any this year still. Put in 3 Marconi peppers. They're the only ones that survived the crash in the grow room. I've got purple pole beans going up into my teepee. I think I got the idea from, I can't remember her name. It was on YouTube though. Sorry. Anyway, over here in the triangle, I put some beefsteak tomatoes. I always cage these because they get really huge. And then the flower bed over here, I decided to start putting herbs and vegetables in instead of flowers, but I do have a few flowers. There's one tomato in there and some chives. And in the corner I do have an aster growing. And here's my little fairy garden. Over here, I've got one more tomato. That's another cherry. And I have a chives over there. Plus I stuck a borage over here too, just because there's so many. There's the strawberries. They're starting to send out vines and plant more strawberries. But I don't have very many actual strawberries this year. I'm not sure why. I just planted those last year. And then in the bed next to them, I planted red bell peppers and some eggplants in between. Hopefully, I don't have them too close. And in this little container, I've got chives that I transplanted last year. This year they're just getting huge. We got some bird seed that reseeded itself. I always just let them grow. Maybe I should pull them out. I don't know. Plus I have a little bit of radishes in there. My mailbox I need to reattach to the pole. That's where I have my gloves and my string and trowel. And in this little container over here by this trellis I have some more cucumbers. That's a little bush I planted last year. It's got blooms. It does get little tiny berries on it. I don't know if you can see those down there. It's kind of hard. The sun is kind of weird right now. I can't really see what I'm looking at on the screen. But it does get little berries on it. Anyway, I also planted a couple of tomatoes in pots because I see other people do it, so I figured why not? I had extras, stick them in these pots. Then this year I decided to go with all geraniums in my other little pots, and I've got my hanging baskets again, of course. Things are doing pretty good this year. I got a slow start because we still had frost the middle of May. So really, it's a late start, but really things are doing pretty good. The peas I planted probably the third week of April, so they were slow growing, but since it's warmed up, I bet they've grown 8 inches taller just in the last week. They really like that it's warmed up during the day. So they're doing good. The asparagus, I don't know what's going on with this. This is weird. I quit picking them because I have very weird asparagus in here. Look at these. Next to the gnome's head, you see that asparagus there? It's growing up in a twist. But then on the same crown, there's a nice, good stalk. So I've got a lot of those doing that, and I don't know why that is. I did give it some compost this year, and I thought, well, I'm just going to let them grow now. I got a couple of meals out of it. It's only the second year, so I'm just going to let them grow from now on. Really good asparagus, though. It's the purple kind. And then I have my flower bed over here that has fruit in it. The peonies are getting really big. I'll show you this too. I saw some wild geranium, so I picked it and dug it up and I stuck it in my flower bed. Look at that. I planted that last year, and this year I'm getting lots of beautiful blooms. I love wild geranium. Then we have more chives and some more wild geranium next to the frogs. Then over here is some rue. Get some little yellow flowers on it. It's an herb, but I've never tried it because some people can be allergic, so I haven't tried it yet. The irises bloomed for the first time this year, and in that little cage to keep the rabbits from eating it is my aster. They love to eat aster for some reason. They'll eat it down to the ground. So gooseberry bush had tons of blooms on it, and it's going to have some fruit, as you can see, little tiny gooseberries. This is the blueberry, which I've given up on. It started to come back. I was giving it lots of acidic water, but with the frost we had the middle of May, it froze all the new growth, and I'm just giving up on it. I'm going to have to either figure out a different way to grow blueberries or not try to grow blueberries. And we've got more irises that maybe will bloom. George, stop. That's my dog, George. She sees somebody going by on a bicycle. This is my red currant. I pruned this down hard after the winter. George, stop it. Sorry about that. I pruned it down hard, and now look at all the nice red currants that I'm going to have. I am going to definitely make some currant jelly this year. That's the rhubarb. It started to flower. I took one stalk off and left the other two on. And another gooseberry bush, which has quite a few berries in it too. There's my compost ball. It's about 3/4 full. I still need to keep stirring it up. Anyway, right here is where I want to build my shed. That's my project for the year. Last year was the arbor over there. Georgie, stop it. She's being a pain. Anyway, there she goes, keeping her eye on the neighbors. Anyway, that's the garden so far this year. The sad greenhouse is coming down, and as soon as I get my shed built right here, it's going to have a greenhouse on the side of it. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I just need to get started. That's the garden so far this year. 2014. I don't know if you can see her, but my daughter's visiting. It's Memorial Day. Wave, Emma! Okay, that's all for today. Bye now.